be shaman, shaman king. To be shaman, shaman king. If your spirit is strong, you could be the one.
I don't have anything. Oh boy, advertisements.
Oh boy, don't you just love when, like... Fuck, I was gonna try to, like, leave that somewhere, but I've got nothing. I really have nothing.
It's extra frustrating when it's for a product you like and already buy.
Yeah. Is it Final Fantasy XIV, which includes a free trial up to Heaven's Word?
Not anymore. No, it was a Coca-Cola ad. Actually, it was like Coke Zero Sugar or something, so I guess it's a product I don't buy.
Yeah, don't those things, like, already have, like, sugar in them? Like, you know, even when they say zero sugar or whatever?
I think you're thinking of, like, diet soda.
I know there's something where it's like, oh yeah, it's zero, but it still has sugar. It's like, oh, but then why'd you call it the thing?
It's probably got, like, natural sugar, but I don't know.
Honestly, I think a lot of that stuff's just kind of like a scam. It's like, yeah, if you want to, like, drink healthy, just drink water. Honestly.
Yep.
You know what has, like, no natural, like, sugars or, like, carbohydrates in it? Water.
Yep.
Just there you go, easy. Just run the tap. It costs nothing.
Just drink water. It's good for you.
This episode of Shaman King is brought to you by water. You probably won't die.
But also, did you know that anyone who's ever drank water has died?
Oh shit. Speaking of people dying, there we go. Alright, took a bit when we got around to it.
I'm noticing a trend, and it's a stupid one.
Oh, like, because here's the thing, it's like, okay, is every single member of, like, the main cast going to just die super hard and get a power-up?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems fairly likely.
That's totally what's happening. And it's dumb.
Because I'm thinking through, it's like, okay, you know, like, obviously it's like, you know, Rin and Ryu survive, but they're kind of like, you know, special cases. Yo's already really strong, but, you know, Rin can't be stronger, so he's gonna go through his thing eventually, I imagine. Chocolove, he's coming back, no question.
Yeah. Or Joko, as the crappy subs I was watching called him.
Yeah, that's like a weird... Because, like, even the manga translations just call him Chocolove. Like, you can't escape it.
They're probably like, oh, let's not have his name be a combination of chocolate and love. But also the characters are clearly saying chocolove in Japanese.
Yeah. Is it supposed to be chocolate? I thought I was just a huge Final Fantasy fan.
Chocoravu.
That'd honestly be like some pretty interesting characterization if it just comes out he's just like a big classic Final Fantasy nerd.
Well, then he should have like a bird as a spirit.
Nah, but you gotta have the jaguar, right? Because it's like the co-world.
Yeah, okay.
He just shows up with his new spirit and it's just Behemoth. So yeah, this episode, we finally get the payoff for the big golem thing, and holy crap, is this like a payoff?
Yeah.
Because kind of.
There's not much of a fight between Chocolove and the golem.
I remember, like, this is one of the things I was spoiled on beforehand, because I forget what the guy's name was, but I watched some, like, you know, video, just, like, just talk out Shaman King the series in general, where they like spoiled some stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it's like not a lot of it stuck, but I very distinctly remember them like pointing to this section as being like really crazy, and they're like, oh yeah, and like, this guy dies, and like these people die, and like, oh, Chocolove fights, and Chocolove just dies, and like, goes to help him, and he gets like shot in the chest, and he's about to die.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, this Golem's really wrecking people.
Also, confirmation that Ryu did die.
Oh yeah, straight up.
Ryu did die, but Gandara resurrected him.
So yeah, it seems like god-level spirits just have the power to revive the dead, just straight up.
Yeah, which means that Jean has a god-level spirit, which I think we already knew.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like Samsara.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an ancient, like, Mesopotamian god, I think. A Sumerian deity.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something we already kind of knew about, but it's not, it's like, oh yeah, this is just something they do, just like universally.
Yeah.
Seemingly. Which, yeah, makes sense, why not?
We also find out how that one dude and his genie spirit work.
Oh yeah.
It's not 3 wishes like ever. It's probably 3 a day.
Yeah. Or maybe it's doing like, because they say you used up your wishes for the day, but I'm imagining it might just be like 1 a day, which would make sense for how like strong it is.
Well, they were doing stuff that day, weren't they? Like they fought the Iceman. No, wait, he wasn't there.
No, yeah, that was a different. Yeah, that was like Blocking and Big Guy Bill.
I don't know. Maybe he was fighting other people.
I mean, it's possible. I'd believe it's like once a day. I feel like that makes sense balance wise for like how nuts it was.
Yeah, I guess that would still allow it to be really strong.
Yeah.
If you can only give it one command per day, and it's just like, all right, fulfill it or don't.
Yeah, it's do or die time, and if he like loses, then he's like, all right, well, I guess I got absolutely nothing now.
Yeah, and they kind of make fun of him for not being able to do anything. I think it's Hal, isn't it? Hal's like, get that person, and he's just like standing there. It's like, oh.
Yeah. He just looks so dejected about it.
Yeah. Like, get that kid, and he just kind of hangs his head, and he's like, oh, you used your wishes for the day.
So yeah, Chocolove, right? He just fights the Golem, and he just like...
He slashes it to pieces.
Yeah, he actually does way better than you'd expect.
Yeah. The problem is that the Golem is so, like, incredible that it just puts itself back together.
Yeah, like, it's kind of crazy he and Ian, like, slash it apart. Like, there's a weird thing I just keep noticing with this thing, where it's like, all its most effective moves are, like, sneak attacks, which, yeah, I guess makes sense, like, all things considered. But still, it's like... It's a bit of a different vibe from what I was expecting. I was expecting it to just be like, it's just
powerhouse.
It's just this big, unstoppable, like, force of nature, and you can't even, like, scratch it. It just, like, blows through everything. But it's like, no, it's like, you can break it. It just comes back stronger, seemingly.
Yeah.
It's just, like, very durable, but not in the way you'd think.
I mean, being able to just put itself back together from being totally sliced apart is still really strong.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a really strong Golem.
But yeah, they're fighting, and like Chocolove hears like the kid. I forgot his name. But the boy is like, oh yeah, you killed our father Christmas 3 years ago. And Chocolove's like, oh man, that sucks. I can't, I really regret that. But he also killed my friends, and it's like, Chocolove, this is direct consequence of your actions. Even if you did kill your friends, you and your friends kind of, you get what you give.
Oh, geez, we have bond chat. We have to, like,
Hold on, I got him.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't know if I'm, like, do that from here or not. Alright, awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you get what you give is, like, the big theme of the episode. It's, honestly, it makes, like, a lot of sense. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, Chocolate, you kind of had this coming, but also that doesn't make this kid more right.
Yeah. Well, eh.
Eh.
I'm not so attached to Chocolov that I disagree with the boy.
Yeah. Because I think that's the big thing, because it's like the kid gets his, like, revenge. He, like, Chocolov says he's sorry and stuff, but, he has to, like, keep on living. And the kid just straight up kills him.
Yeah.
Like, he just shoots him in the heart with his golem, like, literally through the heart. Chocolov's heart has, like, a hole in it now, and he's just dies out. He just bleeds out, like, immediately, seemingly.
Yeah, Chocolov's dead. Like, we see him hanging out in the afterlife with his, with the old man.
Chocolov literally dies and goes to hell. Just straight up. And the kid's just sitting there, and he's like, alright, yeah, that'll do it. And Yo's just like, alright, are you satisfied now? And he looks over, and like, his sister's still emotionless, and he's like, no, it's not enough. It's because you showed up and interrupted us. You've gotta go too. You're his friend, right? You must be involved somehow.
Yeah, this is where I stop agreeing with the kids.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're here now, and you're his friend. That means you have to die. It's like, Yo had nothing to do with your father's death.
Yeah, like, I totally get it. I think it might have been, like, a bit more effective if it was just more like, Yo's like, okay, fine, then I'll have to kill you, and the kids are freaking out and acting like self-defense, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, of course we know Yo's not going to do it, but the threat that he might is, like, what, like, makes them start fighting back.
Also, I just can't see Yo doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, oh, I guess I have to kill you now. Like, even threatening or, like, bluffing it, like, I can't see Yo doing that.
Yeah, like, it's clear that it's, like, Yo's trying to, like, sort of, like, teach them a bit of a lesson, He's like, alright, well, what if I turned on you then, because you just killed my friend? And, they're, like, just going all out, just being crazy and stuff. Because, like, revenge be like that.
Yeah, the whole message that they're trying to give is, like, revenge is bad, but, like, I don't know. I think the kid and his sister are pretty justified with what they did to Chocolov.
Yeah, that's the thing, because, like, you see this, like, message along, like, show on anime and stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, revenge is bad, like, hatred is, like, evil, just, just forgive everyone, just forgive people for their sins and stuff, people can be better. And yeah, sure, but also sometimes people just need to pay,
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of people out there who very much empathize with Light from Death Note, and I feel like that's not completely unwarranted.
Yeah. But also, Light is undoubtedly the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, because it's like, Light crosses the line, and it's like, if you didn't go that extra mile, then you would have probably been, like, fine, right? Because I feel like everyone kind of agrees there's, like, a point where it's like, okay, yeah, like, guy's about to, like, just assault a girl in an alleyway, and he, like, writes that they, like, get hit by a truck, and everyone's on board with that.
Yeah. But then there's one moment where a woman... It's been a little bit since I saw it. There's, like, a woman who's, like, an investigator, and I don't think she's even specifically... onto Light, or maybe I don't think so.
Yeah, that's always the big one. Yeah,
but he gets her name, and then it, like, writes in the death note that she commits suicide, and it's like, she wasn't even onto you, dude.
Yeah, if I remember right, it was because, like, she knew the names of the people who are investigating him, So he's like, okay, yeah, write down all the names of, like, the investigators in the Death Note or something, and then, like, kill yourself, because, it has to end in death. And that was, like, what the whole deal was, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So it's, like, this big win for, like, Light in the situation, but it's also, like, holy crap, you went so far. But I feel like that's, like, about where the line is, where you just get, like, vindictive and you just involve innocent people in this stuff,
Yeah. Like I said, them turning on Yo for no reason is...
Oh, yeah.
That's out of line.
Yeah, that's the line. But, good and evil are subjective.
No, just evil is subjective.
Evil is subjective.
They don't mention anything about good.
Oh, man. I can't believe we went back there with this episode. It kind of makes sense in this episode, but it's still like, I don't know about that.
I'm never gonna forget that.
Yeah.
Like whenever the idea of, like, oh, what's evil, like, that, whatever that topic pops up, like, in the back of my head is just always going to be, well, evil is subjective.
Evil is subjective, from the old man who, like, killed the guy literally in the room right now.
Yeah.
As he's, like joking with the gun.
If Nichrome, the guy who's the brother of the guy that Ren killed, if he got his revenge on Ren, actually, I guess he did, but then Ren came back to life.
Yeah, like, he kind of did it.
Like, he's super justified in, like, taking revenge on Ren, especially after seeing how that event actually played out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Even if Ren is remorseful, it doesn't change what he did.
Yes, this is one of those things where it's like, like, I totally get it. It's like, from a writing perspective, it's not bad that it's like, the series is, like, very heavily taking this sort of, like, morally, like, ambiguous sort of, like, stance on, like, I guess, like, moral objectivism, I guess you'd say, or whatever, where it's like, oh, certain acts are just, like, inherently, like, evil or whatever. And, it's like, that's fine. It's just like, it's a point that, like, I'm sure you don't agree with, and I don't quite, like, agree with as much either, on, like, a moral level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that makes sense, yeah.
Although I gotta say, I'm not always so, like... How do I put this? Remember in Shadowbringers, where the rich couple throws the kid off of the city walls because they're bored with his paintings or whatever?
Yup.
And then those two characters become, like, two of the most endearing and, like, likable characters in the game.
Yup. Good. Yeah, like, there's wiggle room.
There is the important thing to make. There is the important distinction to make that nobody died. He almost did, but he didn't die.
I'm sure other people have.
Yeah, but we don't know that they're responsible for anyone else's death. We don't know. It's never brought up. And the guy that they threw off the city walls to leave for dead forgives them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the important thing, because it's like, in that situation, it's like, we love that. It's like, okay, yeah, that's bad, but it's like, I feel like in that scenario, it's not really, like, up to me. It's up to the guy they hurt,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if, like, hey, if he just died, that'd be a different story, but still.
Hey, I can point to our D&D campaign, BoSharts.
Yeah.
We had to get into the Yanti temple, and we got one of their guys to help us get in. And then Farum just leaves his fate to Geth.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, he helped us, but I don't know, it's up to you, man.
Yeah, he's responsible for, like, just screwing over your people. Just, hey, it's, your call, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's fair, yeah. So yeah, these kids definitely go beyond that, and they're like,
Yeah.
alright, no, yo, you have to die too.
Anyone tangentially related to Chocolov has to die.
Yeah, just straight up.
I am wondering if the guys in Shaft are gonna live.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Because
The
yeah.
implication is that Ryu grabbed them and is gonna go save them. Which I
Yeah.
guess they're no more dead than Chocolov is, so.
Yeah. They've been, around a bit more, and they're not shamans, but I mean, they're about as dead.
Yeah. I do have to wonder what the catch is going to be. Because I can't imagine that, like, they can just go to these people and it's like, hey, our buddy died. Just, would you res them for free?
Yeah. I do want to point out, there is a section, because it's like, alright, this is one of those episodes where it's like they left out, like, a lot of little bits. Because, like, in the manga, this is, like, a full volume, this, like, entire encounter. It's like the anime, it's like a bit less than that time-wise.
Yeah,
So there's a whole thing where like Love's just in hell, and they specifically like talk about like the mechanics of hell and how it works and how it's like like they mention this in the anime too, that it's like, oh yeah, it's based on like how you see your own like afterlife and the darkness you carry with you and stuff, because like it's your own sense of guilt that like defines what like hell is to you.
Yeah. No, I just want to say we probably will see some of the cut parts that you're about to talk about, because we'll probably see it in the next episode before Chocolov gets resurrected.
That's the thing. We might, but I do not know, because, like, it ends at about the same place, where, like, like, the end is, like, the, like, Chocolov meets his mentor in, like, the afterlife, and he's like, oh, yeah, go and get, like, this great spirit. And the manga, he, like, goes a bit more into detail, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're in hell because you feel guilt over this. But, like, people yearn to be punished, so they, like, absolve themselves of their sins and stuff. And he's like, so you have to go through your own trial, basically, to, like, feel absolved of your sins so you can, like, return to Earth, essentially. That's what he implies. And he's like, so yeah, you have to climb the stairs of Machu Picchu, I believe he says, to get the great spirit of Indra or something. And, like, this anime just says, go get the greatest spirit. Also, yeah, it's worth knowing that hell is just straight up inside the great spirit.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
I guess if that's the criteria, then Chocolov should be fine, because he already feels bad about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the problem. It's like, you have to, like, get rid of your guilt and, just work past your own... Yeah, you have to work to a point where you don't feel bad about it. Where you can sort of, like, live with yourself over it's what I got from it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, next episode, Chocolov's probably gonna go through some trial of some sort, and that'll, like, be the big exclamation for, like, why, like... Well, I guess no matter what, everyone can just be, like, revived when are, like, because if they can revive, like, like, other members of the group, then what? But it's, yeah, whatever. It's gonna be a whole thing, I imagine. Like, I have the impression that, like, it's probably gonna be enough of an ordeal that they can't just do it, like, whenever someone dies, just, like, on a whim, right?
Yeah. Or they go to Gandhara and they just resurrect them because, I don't know. Alright.
Yeah. How'd you feel if it's like, like, Chocolov comes back and it's like, oh, we can just revive people whenever, but, like, it takes time to do and you need the body to be intact, right?
That would be fair. Also, maybe you only get one.
Yeah, that makes sense, like Dragon Ball rules.
Well, you, with Earth...
Well, early Dragon Ball, yeah.
With the Earth Dragon, at least.
Yeah. Yo, Krillin died? Alright, he gets to come back one time. Oh fuck, he died again.
Alright, off to Namek we go. Because their dragon can do it infinitely.
Just the idea, like, Chocolove comes back and he just dies again. And Yo's just like, alright, well, off to Namek.
Dynamic.
He just finds a little pod and he's like, oh yeah, it's an oversoul, right? So it just has the space flight oversoul. He just flies in the patch Saiyan pod.
I mean, they could totally make that.
I feel like they probably could at this point. The
If they
patch
can make-
space pod.
If they can make a fully functioning jumbo jet, I think they could make like a spirit space pod.
They just shove him in the patch space pod and fire him out of the patch cannon. Just gotta shoot him to Namek.
Man, the patch tribe stuff is stupid.
I love it. It's so dumb.
So yeah, Yo fights the golem with his big sword.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is...
Also, the kid is like, "Oh, what do you know? You've never lost anything important to you." And then we cut to a little flashback of Masamune, and it's like, "Oh, this kid sucks."
Yeah, oh yeah. Because of course he doesn't know, but still.
It's a bold assumption to make.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh man, but yeah, like, they have this whole fight on the Gundam. Well, quote-unquote fight, because mostly it's the Gundam just shoots a bunch of lasers and then flies around and then Yo, like, jumps on top of it.
Yeah, its main method of attack seems to be firing lasers out of its face.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It's fine. It's just, I don't know. It raises up to shoot Yo, and Yo just cuts its head off. And it's like,
Yeah.
alright, it's incapacitated now.
Yeah. Like, they make a specific pull in the manga of, like, well, they make a pull of a few things. But first off, like, Yo mentions that he's like, alright, as long as I'm on its back, like, as long as I just don't stand in front of any of the, like, beam areas, I'll be fine.
I was wondering if the golem was actually going to shoot itself, like, because that's like the oldest trick in the book is like Yo stands on its back and waits for it to shoot the laser, and then he jumps.
Yeah. But yeah, he does mention that, and they also, like, make a quick mention that, like, Yo's been getting better at, like, manipulating the shape of his, like, Spirit of Sword over Soul. So it's like, alright, I assume he can just, like, make it bigger, smaller, or whatever it will if he needs to.
That would be convenient if he
Yeah.
doesn't have to swing that giant sword every time.
But yeah, that seems to be the implication. And, like, the kid has a one in the manga where he's just like, oh yeah, should I just, like, make it, like, spin around, but then I'd, like, fall off too, and he's like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Golem's just, like, tries to shoot the laser, and Yo just cuts the head off. And, like, the kid goes to punch him, and just falls off the side, and Yo has to save him.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes to attack Yo and, like, misses, and he's like, oh, missed. And then he grabs him with Amidamaru's spirit form.
Yo, kid, you get what you give, right? Alright, now let's be buds. And the Golem just shoots Yo in the back with its second head. Because its head just reforms into, like, a different one, seemingly. It's very, yeah.
It's kind of confusing.
It's very odd. It's like this Golem keeps, like, like it's changing shape and, like, modifying its body and stuff as they fight. So it's like, it's sort of like forming new parts and revealing, like, hidden mechanisms and stuff, right?
Yeah, and the boy is like, okay, that's weird. I've never seen the Golem act like that.
Yeah. It is worth knowing that, like, they have no mention of this in the anime, but in the manga they do quickly mention that it's like, like, Amidamaru did just straight up, like, deflect the blow a bit.
Oh.
So yeah, that's why Yo's also not, like, dead right now, because it's like, alright, he's wounded, but it's like, it's not as bad as it looked.
Yeah. And then Yo is like hunched over, like sitting down with a hole in his chest.
Yeah.
Or in his gut. I think it's in his gut.
Yeah, this is like, I feel I'm going saying this a lot around this, but yeah, the manga just generally makes the wound way worse, because he goes to save the kid, and he like uses Spirit of Sword to like stab into the ground and land, and as he like stabs into the ground, like the impact opens the wound a bit, and it bleeds out more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then when stuff happens later on, like... Because, yeah, we go through this whole thing, and Yo, like, saves the kid, and he's like, alright, we have to do something about that golem. And then Hao just appears.
Well, first, what I was gonna say is Hao is like, not Hao. Yo is like, okay, how did Jean heal Rin? And then he, like, starts thinking about how the healing process works. And then it seems to imply that Yo is about to learn how to do, like, a self-healing ability.
Yeah, it's really confusing, because in the manga, it's sort of implied that he did do it, but it's, like, very vague. It's, like, really hard to tell if he, like, healed himself or not, but the wound is still there either way.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I have to concentrate on, like, my blood vessels and, like, whatever.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I guess that does make sense. If only we knew someone who was really good anatomy that we could, like, teach this to.
Yeah. Well, Faust isn't there.
Yeah. I just want Faust to be the team healer. I want Faust to become the white mage. I feel like that makes way too much sense.
On one hand, it would kind of ruin Faust's shtick if people could just heal themselves. But on the other hand, if people can heal themselves, they can stay in battles longer.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of a situation where it's like, oh yeah, guy gets, like, wounded. And it's like, okay, yeah, get the guy to Faust. And Faust is like, alright, keep him busy, I'll deal with this. And, like, Faust becomes the healer, right? Like, he can just do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he's literally a doctor. It's like, it's the most obvious place they can go for this. And, like, at this point, I can't see him really doing much with, like, the skeletons on their own anyways. Yeah, it's kind of shame he doesn't really use the skeletons, like, outside of just his one fight with Yo, because now it's like, everything is an oversoul, so everything would just, like, wreck him.
Yeah, the skeletons aren't really all that useful anymore, huh?
Yeah, it's like, oh, what part of this is the oversoul? Oh, just the joints? Alright. And they'll just, like, pound it into dust, like, immediately.
I suppose he could use them as, like, intermediaries and make more... Like, he could probably infuse, the entire skeleton with oversoul.
Yeah, I suppose he could, yeah.
Which would take more energy, but it would make the skeleton stronger.
Yeah, like, I'm sure he couldn't do, like, the entire graveyard, but if he has had, like, like, 5 guys, right?
Yeah, a small group of skeletons.
Yeah, I feel like that would make sense.
Like peyote.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, I guess...
Yeah, so, like, Cal and all of his minions show up.
Just literally, like, all of them, except for, like, friggin' Blockin' and, like, Big Guy Bill. Because, of course.
Yeah, and Hal's just like, oh, whatever, Yo, you just stay there and don't die on me. I'm just here for the golem.
Yeah. How it just shows up and he's like, oh yeah, don't get involved, Yo. And Yo's like, no, I gotta save the golem, though. And Hal's like, alright, come on, minions, take care of him. And
right. That's something I had forgotten about. And it's that instead of Yo being upset that Serum, the girl inside the golem, is gonna get hurt, he's constantly yelling about how he needs to save the golem.
Yeah, I guess to be fair, it's like, it's kind of implied that it's because of the girl, but still.
Sure, but you think he would actually specifically mention the girl and not the robot?
Yeah, oh yeah. Because this is like a whole thing, because like... Alright, first Hal's like, hey, minions, gum. And then it's like, alright, we see them attacking. Like, they tone this down so much for the anime. Because it's like, alright, the Chinese, like, cook guy just, like, shoots his plow and it just hits Yo on the chest. And it's like, the anime's like, alright, good, that's one shot. And the manga, you see the wound reopen.
Of course you do.
And, like, he's like, yeah, peyote, get him. And you see the skeletons just, like, attack Yo. And the manga, you see them straight up, like, stab him in the wound. With, like, a tiny knife.
Okay, I thought Hal needed Yo alive. I guess not.
Like, he's really just holding nothing back. And he's like, alright, yeah, turbine. And the guy in the, like, like, shawl or whatever it's called, like, the head cover and stuff, just, like, gets ready to do something. He's like, oh, right, I can't.
Yeah. I think he tells him to grab the little boy.
Yeah. And he, like, used up all his wishes, so he's just useless now.
Even though he's, like, an adult and he's a kid without powers, without the golem.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, I forgot. We see a moment where Mickey is lying on the ground bleeding out because I guess he tried to stop them from leaving with the golem.
Yeah, that seems like the direct, like, course of events that played out off screen.
Yeah, Mickey got wrecked.
Oh yeah. If nothing else, at least, like, Mickey doesn't have a huge hole in him, but still.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in that scene.
Oh boy. Yeah, maybe he did get shot with the laser, I don't know. It would make sense.
He might have. I have to imagine that he specifically instructed the golem not to kill him, though, considering he is, like, their ally.
Yeah, like, the golem probably moved, like, like, slapped him away or something, I'd imagine, which is still brutal, but still not as bad.
Also, Mickey's tough.
Yeah. But yeah, then we just learn, effing, like, yeah, this golem, this effing thing, it's
loaded,
not being
full of energy.
Yeah, not only is it like, alright, first off, it's low and full of energy. Most, like, energy of any spirit we've seen to date, most energy of, like, any Shaman we've seen to date, outside of, like, Hal. This thing is a beast.
It's like several 100,000.
It's like 500,000, which is, like, how are they even blocking by, like, 5 times?
Yeah.
You would need 5 blockins to equal 1 golem.
Yeah. Also, the kid's father is possessing the girl.
Oh yeah, that's the way more, like, important note. It's like, oh yeah, why is the girl emotionless? Oh, the ghost of her dead father is just using her as a puppet to control this thing. Okay, got it.
So, possibly she'd actually be fine if she wasn't possessed.
Yeah, which... You look back at the scene where, the bro is just like, oh yeah, well my sister's still emotionless, so there must be something else we have to do. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, he wants super revenge.
Oh yeah. What the father wants revenge against specifically, I have no idea, but I can make some assumptions.
Against Chocolov.
Well, yeah, but we just killed Chocolov.
Yeah, but then Yo shows up and he's associated with Chocolov, and like, I can see why a vengeful spirit would just go psycho.
So I will propose a theory, right?
Mm.
I have no idea if this is gonna be true. This may just be like wild, just irresponsible speculation. Because they do bring up, like, okay, why would you need a golem in the first place? And, like, a whole arc themed around revenge. And it got me thinking, it's like, oh, well, this was made in the 90s. What if the reason they, like, the kid's father just made a golem is because he wants revenge on Germany?
I mean...
Because it would make sense.
Considering the origin of the golem, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if this series is gonna go there, but that makes, like, complete rational sense in my mind. But at the same time, I don't know if they even can go there because of how, like, dark it would be and how it would, like, undermine the whole, like, message about revenge or whatever. Because it's like, holy crap. But yeah, that seems like it's a direction that could happen.
It's like, it's also like the Nazi regime isn't a thing anymore. Not really.
Yeah.
There's like stupid people who
Yeah, but
are like
like,
Nazis, but like specifically, like
yeah,
the war is over. It's been over.
oh yeah, but I'm thinking like, maybe it's like there could be like survivors or something. He's like, okay, yeah, they killed my like parents and grandparents, and I'm gonna like hunt them down,
Yeah,
Yeah, it might be something like that. Or it
yeah.
could just straight up be like, oh yeah, I made this thing to kill Hao. That would also make sense, but still.
Yeah, if the goal is to kill Hal, that's great. I don't think he can take him though. The golem's
Yeah.
powerful, but it's not that powerful.
To be fair, the golem does get a lot of really good shots in.
Oh yeah, doesn't he like split Spirit of Fire in half?
Yeah, he like blows off its arm with a big laser and like rockets around it, like stabs him in the back and just explodes him.
Yeah. The problem is that Spirit of Fire is made of fire, and Hal will just reform it.
Yeah. Still,
Or it'll reform itself, however it works.
They do make a point though in the manga where it's like they cut this out of the anime, but they do specifically say that it's like, like even if it reforms, it'll still take energy to like reform it. So his goal is seemingly just to like do so much damage that Hao physically can't maintain the thing.
Yeah, I guess that would work, but I'm sure the same limitation works for the golem too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I bet it takes a lot of energy to put itself back together.
Oh yeah. Still, like, he does do some damage.
Yeah. Now, if the golem and like all of our heroes teamed up, like,
oh yeah,
that might be enough.
But at least
emphasis on might.
I could see it being enough to make, like, maybe just drive Hao away or something, or like, maybe they like take out one or two of Hao's men, and they have to like force a retreat, or maybe it draws the attention of like Gundara or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Because I can't see him just beating Hao right now, but I can see them sort of like being more of a threat than he expected, and he does the cool villain thing of like, alright, let's like regroup so I can reassess these like, pathetic peons or whatever.
Right.
Like, I could kind of see him being like, alright, this isn't like worth the trouble right now. And like later on, he gets a stronger spirit and things like escalate somehow.
Yeah. But speaking of driving Hal away, Lyserg comes to the rescue.
Yeah.
And he totally. I mean, we already knew he still had morphine, but he's also still using the wire thing.
Oh yeah. Kinda surprised he's still doing that, but alright, makes sense.
It's like not only does he still have morphine, he's using her, so
yeah, and he has to use her to like save the golem. It's like, okay, yeah, like Lyserg's here to help, and like, like Rin and Chocolove show up. Sorry, not Chocolove, just like Rin shows up.
Chocolove's ghost.
Yeah, Rin Horror shows up, even though Horror is like boxers, and they cut out another gag where like the witch trio looks at Horror and there's like boxers, and they're like, oh god, not another pervert. And Rin's just like, yeah, sorry, I just got out of the shower. It's like,
drank his milk.
Yeah. Gotta get that milk. I forget who else shows up, but it's like, yeah, most of them just show up.
It's all the friends, except for Faust, I think.
Yeah, all the friends except for, like, I think Ryu, Faust, and Chocolove.
Yeah, because Ryu's carrying Chocolov and the Shaft guys.
I'm so excited for, like, Faust to do something.
Yeah,
I really hope Faust does something this arc.
not just heal people.
Yeah, not just, like, stitch people up with, like, normal medical knowledge. I'm to be, like, just, like, this super important plot healer. Because, like, of course, right?
Yeah, I want to see some stupid mad scientist crap.
Yeah. He just, like, he brings Chocola back and he just has, like, extra arms. He's like, now you can fight better. Nah, we all know where this is gonna go, right? Chocolove's gonna come back, and for whatever reason, he's just gonna have the cool shades. Because it's in the intro with the
Yeah.
Golem.
Also,
Oh,
maybe
man.
he'll have another new power because you mentioned him like climbing the steps and getting a spirit or something.
Yeah, it seems like he's gonna get some, like, greater spirit from the Great Spirit, and he's gonna become, like, a way better fighter because of this.
Yeah.
Which, I'd be up for that, yeah.
Combo of whatever this new spirit is, Jaguar.
Yeah. Right, that's another thing. So, going back a bit, like, can't believe I forgot this. There is one really important bit in the manga that I forgot to point out. So it's like we go back, it's like, Yo's like on top of the golem, right? He's like, dealing with the kid.
Yeah.
There's straight up a moment in the manga where Yo's like, oh yeah, you get what you give, all that stuff. It goes around, comes around. And like, hey, like, I knew out your golem maturing because of, like, Mick over here. He's like Chocolove's spirit ally, and he's still with me. And Yo says, yeah, I bet he'd love to sink his fangs into you, and I could probably make that happen. And, like, in the manga, you directly see Yo just has Chocolove's, like, finger claws. And he's just straight up like, yeah, I remember Chocolove's Oversoul pretty well. I'm fairly sure I could replicate it so Mick could, like, fight you. Just straight up.
Yeah.
It's like the wildest crap.
Yeah, and Mick is understandably furious. Like, he does look like if he had a body, he would go mental on this kid.
But yeah, just the implication that it's like, oh, I guess Yo could just do this, huh?
Yo is very talented.
Yeah, it seems like it. It's like, huh. Alright, I guess that's a thing. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate we didn't get that, because I want to see him just maul the kid, but just the idea that it could happen is, like, so weird and interesting.
I kind of do want to see feral Yo.
Yeah. Just, like, there's just a fight at some point where it's like Yo just loses the sword, and he's just like, okay, Mick, let's do this.
Yeah. I need to be fast.
Yeah, I need speed now. And he just puts the finger claws on and just works with it. You see, man, what if the opposite happens? What if, like, for whatever reason...
gets to meet Amaru?
Well, no, I was gonna say, it's like, what for whatever reason, like, the Spirit of Fire, like, isn't around, and Hal's like, okay, I guess I'll have to do something else then, and he just takes out Big Guy Bill's football, and we get to see Hal do the Big Guy Bill tackle.
Yeah, using other people's spirits doesn't work all that well with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
But it would totally work if Yo used Mick and he just kind of used his claws and stuff.
I kind of wonder if someone could just toss the football to Turbine and just go over his, like, genie problem. You know, it's like, oh yeah, big guy Bills have commission. All right, I'll just take on his like linebackers and fight with them then.
Hey, Jin, play football.
Hey Jin, sack him. He just takes that big bag. He's like, no, not like that.
No, you weren't specific enough. I'm pretty sure that is how, like, proper genies usually work. It's like, if you're specific enough, then the wish will be bad.
Yeah. It seems like his Jin's, like, pretty, like, like, earnest about doing his wishes. Like, he don't try to, like, monkey paw them, it seems.
Well, the command kill him is pretty unambiguous.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, hey, maybe he would try to kill him really inefficiently, right?
It doesn't matter as long as it gets done, and it does get done.
All I'm thinking of is, I'm sure you've like probably seen it at some point, that like the YouTube video called like the incredibly long murder with a horribly inefficient weapon. And it's just this like crazy ghost guy who just walks up to you and just hits you in the head with a spoon. And he just keeps doing it for like decades. It's like, there's nothing you can do, there's nowhere you escape. He'll just show up and just hit you with a spoon again. And there's just a point where it's like the guy's on the ground dying, and the spoon finally breaks. And the guy's like, oh. And you see the like ghost man just opens up his like coat, and there's like all these spoons inside. It just takes out another one. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, this is a crazy sequence. This is like a good episode with a crazy sequence of events. This is going places.
A lot of stuff happens this episode.
Oh yeah, this is just thing after thing. Like, how do you feel about this?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, I feel like I kind of wish we had a bit more, like, focus on, like, Chocolove dealing with the Golem by himself, but other than that, like, yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure, but I don't know. It kind of seems like Lyserg is going to join back up with Yo and friends.
I could kind of see it, you know.
I could also, and like the X-Laws are going to be super mad about it.
I could see them doing the thing where it's like, you know, he stays with the X-Laws, but, you know, he sort of, like, gets them to understand him a bit better, and, you know, he becomes sort of like an intermediary for the group, right?
Maybe.
Like, the X-Laws still aren't, like, on their side, but, you know, like, Lyserg is, yeah.
Marco's still going to be a problem.
Yeah, like, Marco's still against it, but it's like, you know, he at least convinces Maiden to, like, let him help whenever, like, Yo's group has, like, trouble, and he's like, you know, he just shows up whenever he can. I feel like that'd be, like, a good compromise, where it's like, you know, he's still, like, around and able to, like, be one of the main characters, but he's still, like, you know, like, not just, like, going back on the whole X-Law thing, either.
Yeah. I could also see them having Lyserg just go off to get a cool new power and then come back to join the main characters.
Oh, that'd be so bullcrap. He's just like, oh, now that I've gone Angel, I don't need you people anymore, huh? And he just leaves.
Thanks for the super strong spirit. Bye.
Thanks for the robot. Now I'm going to like go help my friends, and he helps them out. And you just see like Lyserg looks at the kids and he's like, "Hey, give me the golem. I need more robots.
I need more power."
He's like, "I need to pilot this while I control my other mech." He just becomes the like machinist of the group, and he just has like 5 different robots by the end of the series. So yeah, any other thoughts, I guess?
Nah.
Yeah, good episode. Like, I guess any like hopes for the next episode or whatever.
I don't know. I mean, it's obvious it's gonna be some kind of a fight with Hal, even if it's not like a super long one.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like a quick encounter, and then Chocolove's just gonna show up at the last minute and like fend him off a bit, and it'll be like crazy, right?
Yeah.
And Hal'll be like, alright, fine, you gotta deal with them any other day, but dealing with them and the golem's a bit much for now. I could see that, yeah.
The question is what happens when Chocolov is suddenly alive again and the goal and like the kids have to face him. It's like, oh.
You know what,
So, yeah.
that's an interesting idea, because I feel like I kind of like, this is something that kind of crossed my mind before, but it's like, yeah, because Chocolov has like the shades and like the like intro and stuff. What if like the price for coming back to life is he like goes blind or something?
Maybe.
Like, that'd be interesting, I don't know, that'd be something. So yeah, should we just move on then?
It's all revealed beyond your wildest